If you haven't seen our top 3 best vehicle review this year, I highly recommend you to go check it out. Link right here. Top 3 worst car. Now, let's talk
About the worst.
Let's talk. Some people are gonna like this part. Worst vehicle we're reviewing that year and a half. The worst of the worst.
Trash!
So, Andrew, let's begin with you. You're number 3.
Number 3 was the Impreza. While I was not impressed.
Yeah.
Because, it's a good car, but it does not impress in terms of features.
It doesn't impress in everything. It just gets the job done.
Yeah.
It doesn't. The only thing it has to separate itself from the others is the all-wheel drive.
Yeah, the all-wheel drive. As
That's
usual, Subaru all-wheel drive is the best. But
For the rest,
it's a normal car. Go to point A to point B, but
it's like we said. It's not a bad car. It's just there.
Yeah, normal infotainment.
It's functional.
It's functional. That's it. That's all.
it. And I've tried a new one, and it's just an improved version of what you try.
Of the normal car.
Yeah, it's like it's just normal, up to date.
That's it.
That's it.
They update
But the new
normal.
one, there's one difference between the one you try and the new one. Subaru did an update in 2014 for the CVT, which this one has, and the car was very good at moving from stop and everything. It was quick to respond and everything. And for the new generation, they went back to the old programmation, and now it's freaking slow. Like slow. For everyday driving, it's slow. You really have to press on the gas to go because it's slow. So Subaru, get back to this old CVT setup, please.
What about you? You're number 3.
Number 3, on my side, a very controversial video. Not a lot of people like it. It's 1/3 for 2/3. But the main objective of that channel is to say the truth. So, Honda Insight 2010. I'm sorry for all these Honda Insight owners who are very mad at me. But the Honda Insight sucks.
Why it sucks?
Okay. Well, the exterior is the part that is the less important.
Yeah, it starts from the exterior.
It's boring to watch. And at the time, Honda has clear paint quality issue where the clear peel off and then it rusts. So it's a rust bucket. Taken really well. Then the interior. I really like the ergonomic of the interior, but it's not practical. The trunk is small. Adults don't fit in the back. Honda is known to have a ton of space inside, and this one doesn't have space inside. And then you get to the mechanic. The one I had was reliable, but 2 years later they have issue with oil consumption. Probably they put the piston ring from a 1990 Honda Civic. So after a couple of years, it has a 2-stroke conversion. But the one I had wasn't so bad. But on paper, the mechanic is good, except it lacks a bit of power. And that lack of power, when you arrive on the driving portion, this is where this car really, really fell. It is way too slow. Way too slow, dangerously slow. It's not that economical, especially when you compare it to a Prius. Yes, the Prius is more expensive, but it's maybe it's 2 times the price, but it's 2 times that car.
Yeah, you'll save on gas, of course.
Yeah, you're gonna save that Insight is as economical as a modern compact car. So don't ask yourself the question. Don't get the Insight. Just get a modern compact car at this point.
Yeah.
It's very slow. The driving experience is boring. The steering is completely disconnected. Braking is okay. But the thing is, like I said, it's really slow. They say 0 to 100 kilometers in 13 seconds. I measure 22. Like in normal mode, in sport mode or low, I measure 18. It's slow, dangerously slow. When you floor it, it is as quick as a regular car that is going regularly on everyday driving. So the key to keep up with traffic with that car is to floor it. Great way to save fuel.
Yeah.
So the Honda Insight, I'm sorry, it's a bad car. I never thought that Honda did a bad car until that day. Andrew, you're number 2.
My number 2, my number 2, I choose it just because I don't want to make a girl cry. So I'll place the Kona in number 2. Yeah, the Hyundai Kona, number 2.
Yeah, totally agree with you.
Poor quality product in terms of the interior, plastics, poor quality. The leather, poor quality, cracks after a year.
Yeah.
A year.
Yeah.
Like the owner works in the office. She's not like a
working outside or got herself dirty or everything,
or a mechanical or whatever.
And the seat was cracked.
The seat was already cracked after only a year.
And I want to say something about Hyundai. In US, first you got a warranty 2 times longer than in Canada. They got 10-year unlimited mileage. Here
we have worse condition here.
Yeah, exactly.
Than in USA.
In the US, Hyundai require you to do an oil change at every 15,000 kilometer, which is about like what 115, around 10,000 miles. Here, it's at 7. We consider severe usage here because of our road condition. And as a result, Hyundai and Kia in Canada, when the warranty is done, the car is done. Like they start to break like big time. Transmission, engine, this, that. It's insane. We're on the Hyundai and Kia groups. And
on Facebook, yeah.
We read things sometimes, like the guy's at his 4th transmission and the warranty isn't done.
Yeah, it's a 2014, 2015, you're like...
No, there's a guy, it's a 2019 3rd transmission. I'm like, what? Like, here in Canada, Hyundai and Kia is just...
Yeah.
They give a lot of equipment for the price, even though it was expensive, the one you had. It has leather seats.
It was a luxury version.
Yeah, it was a luxury version.
Is that the base version?
Like the CX-30 I review was $2,000 more. It has a way better engine, better transmission, a way better interior. Yeah. Doesn't have leather seat, but more equipment, so forget it. Like, the Kona is just a bad value. And the worst part of the Kona is that it's sold as a subcompact SUV, but it is...
An hatchback.
It's a hatchback.
It's an Elantra. That's it.
You just look at an Elantra hatchback and you look at the Kona and you're like, it's the same thing. Because it is. There's no ground clearance. The only thing it has more than the Elantra is all-wheel drive.
For the same price, go get a Subaru.
Yeah, exactly. For not even for the same price. Like, for cheaper, get the Subaru.
Yeah.
For the same price, get the Mazda 3 GT. For the same price, get a Prius, all-wheel drive. Yeah. It's $1,000 more, but you're going to save a ton of fuel.
And all the journalists are like, oh, it's economical. 10.4 liters per 100 kilometers.
Yeah, that's not economical. Yeah, let's talk about it while we're at it.
Fuel economy is it's not there.
We saw a lot of, we read a lot before doing reviews.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like number 1, 2, 3 for the Kona. We totally disagree with them.
Yeah.
We're asking ourselves, are we dumb or I was like, how the hell do we get such a different result than they do? And we're thinking that maybe some people get money, but
we're not paid for nothing.
No, we only paid to do things.
Yes, that's it. We spent money to do things. That's it.
So the Kona is the modern PT Cruiser. That's it.
It's how do you say that? It's a car that you draw. you drop in the garbage after 5 years. It's a vehicle jetable. It's a, how do we say that?
It's maybe recyclable, so...
Yeah, it's a recyclable vehicle. That's
yeah,
it.
but seriously, the Hyundai Kona, I don't even understand its success.
Me too. I don't like cheap features.
You gotta heated steering wheel, it's aligned. The radio sucks.
Yeah, it's you look at the radio and you're like
the sound system
boring.
is good. The sound system is good. You put the radio on and suddenly the sound system is bad. It was the same thing for my Hyundai Elantra. Same thing. Put the radio on, sucks. Put an auxiliary plug, rocks.
Yeah, definitely. Right. And also they have recalls on their engines.
Yeah.
The turbo just broke down.
Yeah, they have a ton of problems with the turbo engine, so
it's definitely the worst car I've driven, and it's that's why it's my number 2.
It's weird to consider that we're in 2020 and you still have that level of crap.
Of course, yeah, I don't understand.
All right, so we bashed enough. So number 2, it's gonna sound controversial because I had a ton of fun driving this car, but from a modern perspective, this car didn't age well. 1973 Dodge Charger. The reason it's fun is because it's old school, and the reason it's bad is because it's old school, and the reason it's good, it's because it's old school. I mean, the build quality inside didn't age that well, but you still have some metal switch, but everything got like some loose and everything, and it's normal for the year, but it's also normal. At the time, cars were lasting around 100,000 miles, 160,000 kilometers at the time. Nowadays, it's easy to do 300,000, except in Quebec. But the Charger 73 did the build quality, the technology it used, drink a ton of gas. It's so irrational that I can say it's a bad car, but at the same time, this is what makes its charm. It's so bad that it is fun. I mean, let's take, for example, the suspension. It's not the most stable car in the world and everything, but you drive 100 kilometers an hour, and it's just a blast. You're just like, I have a ton of fun, because going 100 kilometers in that car is like going 200 kilometers in your Rav4. This is why it's fun, but at the same time, I can't say it's a good car. It is a bad car from a rational point of view. And drink. I don't want even gas up this thing. This thing must drink like
alcoholic.
30, 40 liter per 100 kilometer.
You don't want to gas that car.
The brakes drum at every drum or disc. I don't remember. Disc. It's disc, but it doesn't brake, man. You're pressing on the brake. You're just
but
like,
this car was.
I'm throwing the brake, and you're like, ooh.
This car was not made for braking.
No.
Accelerate only.
Yeah. Even though 8 seconds 0 to 100 kilometer for a 6.5 liter V8, it's kind of slow. But it's just a ton of fun, but it's not rational. So that's why I put it there. But it's going to come back in the video. So Andrew, number 1, worst car.
And you guessed it.
I know what it is. It's the Toyota Rav4 X LE 2000. No. Okay, no.
No, sorry.
No, that's
sorry
your truck,
to.
sorry.
No.
Okay.
It's the Fiat 500.
Oh, I hate this car.
Damn.
Oh, God, I hate this
I saw a cheap car in my life. But this one, this particular one, oh. Listen, it was a 2012.
Yeah, with 1995 quality.
With like 120,000 kilometer on. My God, the seats were completely finished, cracked, scuffed, cut.
And I just want to mention, when we say seat, I mean the thing that propels my head in the roof.
Yeah, it feels like you were like higher through the grounds.
Yeah, you're sit like in an SUV.
But
my head wasn't the roof.
And normally we don't drive broken cars, but this one only have an issue. Like like every Fiat, have issues.
Yeah, fix it again, Tony.
Fix it again always. And cheap plastic everywhere. When I was driving the car and turning, you saw all the plastic in the dash and every plastic surrounding the radio. I were moving at the same time. I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah, the plastic is terrible. The interior is cheap. The car is not practical. Normally, I find car like boring or anything, but this one I hate it.
The depreciation also is just...
Yeah, it's normal when you got that kind of crap.
It's disgusting.
And probably at the time we're speaking, probably the engine does jam because they jam around 120 to 140, and then it's engine out, engine completely finished. No, just a terrible car. Driving experience was. A lot of people say it's exciting because it's small and
I didn't feel nothing at all.
Drive like a normal car, but small. It's just a smaller car. I mean, I hated this car.
Me too. Definitely, it's every little thing. Even when you open the trunk, you had that little things that hides your stuff in the back.
Yeah.
You know, and even that was cheap. It was like bent like that.
Yeah.
Because it was made out of poor quality.
In Canada, they rust.
Oh yeah.
Plus,
of course.
Just
definitely.
like he was test driving when we were filming the test driving. I was like, "Hurry up, Andrew! I want to get out of this car." Because I was sitting like this, and I was just like, "I hate this car." And then he turned and he's like, "Ta ta ta ta!" Just pop out the fuse. Now I'm joking, but I would have done this video the same way you did it, just bashing a car like so much.
Of course,
you could have said that it looked pretty, but we didn't think it looked pretty. But that's a matter of opinion. So
we have nothing else to say about that car than other journalists would say that. Yeah, it's good. And no, it's not.
The suspension is comfortable.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
And the styling is unique, so some people like it. And the presentation is cool but cheap.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's. So as you can see, two of the best things we can say about the Fiat 500 are aesthetic.
The sound system was good though. It was a Boss sound system.
Yeah.
So if you're on the side of the road and it's broke down, you can listen to your favorite
but it's
music.
the alternator, so we don't have radio.
What's your number one, Charles?
Controversy is part of my life. Geo Tracker. I really like that vehicle. But again, from a rational point of view, it's not rational at all. It can roll over. Brakes, they were worse than the Charger, I think. Or they were...
worse.
Man, ça faisait peur. I was thinking about it this week, like what I'm going to put as number one. And I was like, the brakes on the Geo Tracker were terrible. For a vehicle that light, braking this bad, it's like... It can roll over. The interior quality, not that great. Didn't age well. Although the seats were comfortable and the comfort was not bad actually. Sound deadening inexistent. I didn't want to get in a crash in that vehicle. The door were that thin, including the panel. You're in the door. So at the same time, I said that they need to make a comeback. A modernized version of that vehicle would be like a tremendous sales success.
Oh, you're talking about the
Jimny.
Suzuki,
if they bring the Jimny back, holy crap. So I really enjoyed driving this vehicle, but rationally, it's a terrible vehicle. A modernized version would probably work.
I would say that if they bring the Jimny, because I love the Jimny, I'm selling my RAV4 right now, and I'm buying the Jimny, and I say to my son, it's okay, you can sit in the back, and let's go doing some overland. I love the Jimny. It's simple, but it's the...
I think I would buy a Jimny myself too.
For this winter, yeah.
Yeah, if it has the same fun of driving than the Geo Tracker,
definitely.
If they bring the Jimny to Canada, I will buy it. So if let's say you're a brand called Nissan or Mitsubishi and you have a hard time selling vehicle, you should probably thinking about bringing the Jimny.
That's it.
Like the Jimny is with the future.
It's what? It's a 1.6 liter
110
engine.
horsepower.
It doesn't drink at all.
It's slow though.
But it's made to go.
The geo-tracker was slow too.
Yeah, let's go.
But the geo-tracker, after I review it, even though I just say it's a terrible vehicle, I was checking the one for sale after. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. And it's cheap to buy these days.
Then less and less, they start to take some value. Like a very clean is now 15-20.
Not bad.
Grand.
Oh.
Sums up the top 3 worst vehicle we've tried in this year and a half.